Did you guys know that TikTok had a anti-bullying feature? Um, so it was Saturday, and I usually don't check my direct messages, and I probably should. I should start doing that. And I got this feature from TikTok, and I was like, I got this message from TikTok on direct messenger. And I was like, oh, did they monetize my video? It was like, no, but they said, hey man, we noticed certain things this week on your page, and maybe you should turn on your anti-bullying campaign, our anti-bullying feature. And it's like, anti-bullying feature, and it got three different things. The top feature, you can people, if you delete someone's comments that were offensive to you, they won't be able to comment again. So that's great. And there's some other things too. Some of these mixed up in there. The second thing that you see here is filter comments from strangers. So you can just turn that on, and the people that's already following you, they can make a comment, but the people who aren't following you can't make a comment. That's a little bit tricky, just because there might be some people who might be very supportive of you, and because that's on, they can't say anything. So it's tricky. So I left that one off. And the second one that I enabled is the comment care code, which applies stricter filters for comments that are inappropriate, offensive, or containing profanity. Now, these don't stop the comments totally. The only way you can stop the comments totally if you actually go in there and just turn off your comments. But when you turn off your comments, it sucks because the people who might be, again, saying some nice things to you or be so very supportive, you're not going to get those either. So, I turned it off, like middle of the week, I turned it off and then turned it back on like a few minutes later. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm a masochist. Maybe I want to read all those comments. Shame. Ding, ding. Shame. Maybe I'm a masochist, man. But yeah, it is kind of wild. Like, they sent me this thing on Saturday. Say, hey, by the way, we got this anti-bullying feature. It's like, bro, where were you on Tuesday when they said I should be in a retirement home? Y'all had all week to save me. And now it's like, oh, it's Saturday. You should anti-bullying campaign. They destroyed my mental health for a week, and here they come around on Saturday. Thanks a lot, TikTok. It's craziness. But I am glad they have it. And if you had somebody who's gone through, let's say they told you recently that they had a video, or in the past they had a video and they received all these comments, nasty comments, let them know. And to be fair, I think they all should have this. All social media platforms should have this. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, X. But I doubt X got it, just since Elon Musk is finding glee of his chainsaw, cutting jobs on the government. He's like the ultimate bully right now. So I don't know if X has a bully feature. They probably did once upon a time when Jack Dorsey and those guys were in charge. But I'm not sure if Elon has an anti-bullying feature. He should. Like, even though he's horrible right now and cutting these jobs, people are still getting beaten up on X. So, but I doubt they actually have that. So, but I think it should be mandatory. Hey, Congress, work on this. Make sure everybody has a mandatory anti-bullying feature. If they already have it, good for them. But I think that's a must. It makes me wonder what causes kids to become bullies or be mean as they get older. Like over a decade ago, probably 20 years ago, probably 20 years ago, I was at Kinko's when Kinko's was still a thing. And I saw these two little kids. There was a little white kid, a little black kid. I can't remember if they're a boy and a girl. I think it was like a boy and a girl. And they were just, like 2 or 3 years old. And they were just running around, touching each other, giggling, wrestling. It was like, oh, it didn't matter what race they were, what gender. It's like they were just kids having fun. Like, when you see something like that, that gives you hope. That gives you hope in humanity that things can be better in the future. When a baby is born, a baby is innocent. And it's like, there's still hope in the world. And then you go outside and realize adults are horrible. You just realize, you see all this hopefulness in these little beautiful kids running around, and you go outside and it's like, oh man, it's a living hell. Where are we, man? But how does a kid go from that? How does a kid go from that when they don't see race, color, gender, and they're just having fun? So you go to like elementary school, and at first, it's a little awkward, but there's more bad kids or problematic. There's usually got a couple of bad kids, but for the most part, everybody's cool. But as you go through elementary school, your friends, factions start happening, sub factions start happening. And by the time we get to middle school, it's hell on wheels. Middle school is the worst. Puberty hits, kids hating their parents, kids hating teachers, kids hating kids. Man, middle school is the worst. But then for some people, middle school might be bad for some people. And for some people, high school is actually far worse because now we're dealing with sex and pettiness. I mean, there's pettiness in middle school, but then there's that mean girl type pettiness and mean boy type pettiness. And it's almost like, maybe in middle school, you don't know better. You kind of you're still a little kid, but at the same time, you think you're grown. So there's that. But then when you get to high school, everybody thinks they're grown and they think they know everything. It's like, I don't know. But what's the metamorphosis of that? How do you go from sweet little kids at 2 or 3 to being a bully or being someone that laughs at people or making fun of people? Like, how does that happen? I mean, is it just a bad upbringing? When you go home, is it chaos when you go home? Did something happen to you? Did someone did something appropriate with you and you're just lashing out, or are you trying to impress your friends? You want to stay in the in group, so you make fun of people or bully people just because they impress your friends, so you don't get picked on. Like, I wasn't that person. Like, I'm a nice kid. Like, my mom and my dad did their best to raise me well. Not to say I was perfect, by no means, but I try to treat people nice. I don't why it's really but we've gotten to this space in society where it's like, well, you can't, nice guys finish last, and only losers are nice, and you gotta be tough, and it's like, man, what? So I don't know where this shift happens in kids where they go through this. It's funny because this never happened to me. So if you went to high school with me, this ain't y'all. But I would hear stories about people when they go to their class reunion, and some dude say, "Bro," and some guy said, "Dude, you threw me in a locker in 8th grade." Did I? Oh, I can't remember. Want to get a beer? People have no clue when they do something bad to you, but you remember that. But they have no clue. Or that chick that you tried to ask out to prom or something, or some school dance, and she laughed at you. Her and her friends laughed at you, and then years later you might have gotten yourself together and say, "Oh, hello, Kev. How you doing? I'm all right. How come we never went out? Because you laughed at me? I was tripping. You know, Shantae and them. I was just pretending. You would go to the Ramada? Yeah." It happens all the time. There's nothing worse, man, when you try to talk to a girl if y'all nervous and her and her friends laugh at you. Women do not understand the pain of men. So if you have a friend who's gone through some bullying on TikTok, let them know about this. If you have a child, and they talk to you about this, let them know about this. And sometimes with kids, it's tricky because kids don't tell their parents what's going on. I didn't. And so if you notice something different, like they're quieter, or they're going to their room a lot more, or they're lashing out, gently just say, "Hey, I was reading in the paper." Oh, I'm sorry. I'm old. I was reading on my phone, and I read on TikTok they have an anti-bullying thing. Not to say anything's going on, but, if something happens crazy on TikTok, because I know you're on it all the time, and someone's saying bad stuff to you, they have an anti-bullying feature. So go on there and you can do it yourself, and I hope no one's picking on you. But Mom, no one's picking on me. I'm just saying, just in case. See, I'm trying to get my Uncle. I don't have any kids, so I'm trying to get my Uncle Phil on. I'm trying to get my Fresh Prince Uncle Phil on because I hate kids being bullied. And the funny thing is about people who bully folks on TikTok and some of these other spaces, they'll be the first one to sign like an anti-bullying petition, or be the first one to yell at the school that they're picking on their child. Someone's picking on my child. And they'll be the first one ripping some dude on TikTok. The audacity. But if you or your child or somebody else and they've been bullied, or just let them know about this anti-bullying thing on TikTok, I think is a wonderful thing. And if you receive horrible comments on any of these social media platforms, how did you handle it? And does these other social media platforms have their own anti-bullying feature?